Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be listening to the highly anticipated final album, it would seem, in the Weeknd's discography, that being Hurry Up Tomorrow. Now, Hurry Up Tomorrow, like I said, seems to be the final album that will be released, at least underneath the Weeknd moniker. Perhaps it seems he is going to be going into the industry of film, going to become an actor with a tie-in movie for this album also called Hurry Up Tomorrow. And this album also closes out the trilogy he has been working on since 2020, with the first release being, of course, After Hours, the second album, Dawn FM, my personal favorite Weeknd album, to be honest. And finally, the closer to this trilogy, like I said, Hurry Up Tomorrow. Now, I'm very much eager to hear what he has to say here, as this thing is an hour and 24 minutes. The singles we've heard so far have all been quite different and distinct in tone and genre. And on top of all that, you know, the rollout for this album has been extremely kind of dissonant and bizarre. So I'm not sure what the direction is to close out the discography as at large. But like I said, it's 22 tracks. It's an hour and 24 minutes. You know who The Weeknd is. He doesn't really need further explanation. So let's get into it. Kicking it off here, the opening track, Wake Me Up. Right off the bat, pondering his meaning in the industry, perhaps. Of course, the iconic synth work we've been getting with this trilogy still on full display here. Wonder if it's I know One Thronox Point Never was a big collaborator on his last two albums. I think at least Dawn FM especially. So I wonder how much, if there's any play here with them. Love the kind of gradual build-up we're getting here. Very cinematic in approach. Oh, full MJ here. Oh, that bass line, funky. Very much reminded me of kind of like Thriller-esque era MJ. Oh my goodness, the atmosphere of this track is very rich and supremely 80s. It's also kind of reminded me of the group Justice, just in terms of the kind of dance influence coming in here. A little bit of a French house influence. Those synths, very kind of edgy. Like a strong bite to them. Ooh. This synth work on this track is quite expansive. That transition right into Cry For Me. Quick note, Wake Me Up, very cinematic opening. Just kind of a mammoth of a track, really, at 5 minutes. Dives into the kind of pop-centric side of him as well, but still keeps with the kind of funky kind of MJ appeal that I feel like he appeals to on that track there. Very great bass lines, really. Here's Cry For Me. Ooh. Got a little a trap influence here. Oh. Beautiful singer. Quite melodic here. Smooth with it. Strangers, and I hope that you still cry for me. I wash my fears with whiskey tears. I disappear. I love how just heavy this album has been so far. Like those loud pounds. These keys, is that a sample? I don't know, but they feel quite kind of lo-fi, or at least kind of muffled in the mix, which kind of adds to this dreamy atmosphere. Oh, heavy drop. Oh. A lot more kind of vocal effects we're seeing Weeknd play with so far on this LP. More so than usual, I'd say. Those keys, so high pitched and ethereal. Here seems to be a 12-second skit here.
It's my fucking voice, okay? Listen to the door. I can't sing. I can't fucking sing.
Incredible transitions on this LP so far. Everything's just flowing. Sao Paulo, one of the singles from this record that certainly grew on me as time went on. Bit more of a producer cut, I'd say. Less of a Weeknd track, but still. Quite a club banger this one is. Especially the I love the female vocalist on this one. Essentially nonsense to someone like myself, but it sounds great. Catchy as hell. Again, muffled out in the mix. Oh. And this breakdown, the pinging of the vocals. Very aggressive synths on this record. Really assault the listener. And it gets so bare bones here in the mix. Despite the growth in this song, I do feel like it does overstay its welcome. It gets pretty lengthy, and as you reach this 3-minute mark, I feel like you've kind of heard everything the track has to offer. But we'll keep it going. Just not sure I care for this whole outro portion. Feels quite meandering. Love that rising synth though in the background there. Really amps up the energy. Oh, oh. Insane transition. That was not in the original cut. Holy hell. That addition there. What a massive club banger that ends up being in the end. Also the transition, the escalation into that little 22-second track there. I feel like my head was going to burst with the pressure. Here's it, Baptized in Fear. Sao Paulo, a club banger. I feel like the peak of club bangers he's done. And slow things down on this one. I like the way with this album so far, we're kind of getting a different facet of him in each track. Here we're getting that classic, moody, slower, classic R&B. Very moody track. This atmosphere is very smoky. The classic pity partying of Abel Tesfaye. I've been baptized in fear, my dear, like Paul on the tree. Tell me that I should carry on. Voices tell me that I should carry on. Oh, right into Open Hearts. Just want to say, Baptized in Fear, not personally my favorite. I don't usually tend to gravitate towards the slower cuts of the Weeknd, but going right into Open Hearts here, this is really reminding me of some like classic, again, I'm getting strong Justice vibes, some French kind of house. Now this is my jam. I don't know who he worked with on this one. Did he work with Justice, perhaps? The energy on this track is so intense. Honestly, loving the direction of this. I would love a lot more of this. I hope we get a lot more of it on the album, because this is quite visceral, super just amped up. And so far, I do want to say it feels like the Weeknd kind of tackling more of a producer kind of focused side album. So far, the production is just immaculate. Not that he's ever really strayed away from great production, but here it really feels like it's flexing a lot more and doing more heavy lifting than normal. Oh. that really like that light, you know, cyclical synth in the background there, that just very gentle one, adds so much flavor. In concert, the light show for this would be immaculate. Great track. Again, extremely high octane energy on that one. Love it. Love the EDM route. Let's go to opening night. A short minute and 30. Getting quite glitchy here. I like the kind of use of like sound effects on this one, kind of clipping in. Not much to say about that one. Short, sweet. Feels like it's setting up this one. Reflections, laughing. Every track really just perfectly segueing into the next. Really adding to the very cinematic flair that we're getting on this one. Oh, that clarity. Close to an acoustic ballad here. Really like the slow kind of focus build up. That rigging coming back.
I know you're up. You think I don't know you're staying up all night, cooped up in that hotel room?
Part of me wonders how much this ties into the film that's supposed to come out later this year. Is this a segment from it, I wonder?
Still got that adrenaline from the concert. Ain't no way you're asleep.
Or is this just the
My
more
girlfriend,
vulnerable
she
side of
got you
Weeknd?
$1. Said you didn't look good. But you barely finished the show. I just hope you're not back to the old you.
Or is it himself talking to himself here?
How much longer are you in Texas for? I'm just worried. You worked so hard to be better, and now you're back, drowning in that shit.
Giving into his vices here.
Baby. Don't let them take you from me.
Wait, I've been up during state.
Oh,
45 off of safe.
that
At the top is my place.
is that Future?
You and I, different weight. Always know. when
Oh,
you
it's Travis
late.
Scott. My
I
bad.
could never tell you, wait. Made me tired at the late. Lavish
Did
life,
not expect that.
state. Losing time when you pace. What we can do if you waste. I know the sky's been in haze. You never been through this phase. Living fire, living.
His voice sounds much deeper
living
here.
dry, but it's
Wait, it's
late.
pitched down.
I run the lobby every summer. by body, two-step a stutter. Platinum around my wrist, blurt, chirp like I'm stunner. Lug around the disc while the DJ sit cut up. Flashes from the pics in my sections while I'm fucked up. Bad bitch, I've been waiting to get widowed, but I don't nut up.
Love this entire just section. Travis's darker kind of energy coming in here. Incredible tone is what I'm saying. Incredible atmosphere on this track. Love the development of this one. Very a careful track, very plodding. Man, that one.
What does that shit feel like anyway?
Glitchy, lo-fi, moody. Maybe my favorite track so far. Just love the development of it. Loved how just careful and meticulous it felt as it brought in Travis Scott's feature. I feel like he really capped it off quite well. Enjoy the show. Let's keep it going. A little bit of a Chipmunk Soul influence right off the bat. I like that sample.
Feels like you're a part of me. Always symbiotic. No matter what I tell the world, we always
I wonder what other secret features are gonna slide in here. Again, looking back at his discography, it seems I really love the themes of fame and his legacy. Really just kind of echoes the finality, I guess, of this LP. Love how melancholic this track is, too. Here's Future. I was gonna say, this is Future. Seems I was ahead of myself last time.
Take a bump of caviar, surfing at the baddest bra, real diamond shining dark.
This kind of Chipmunk Soul kind of background, I just love the texture it brings. So washed out though.
Bad bitches knocking them out. Bad bitches knocking them out. I'm in my feelings.
Kleenex bloated in my face cause the chemicals releasing. Guess I could be healthy, but I'm trying to find a reason. Traumas in my life, I've been hesitant to
I'm a sucker for synths.
Take another hit on my music, they won't feel it. I just wanna die when I'm at my fucking peak. Drink it slow, won't drink it slow. I don't want, I hope you mourn, but if you don't, I hope you enjoy the fucking show. Let me know, baby.
I feel like this track especially really channeled like that original trilogy of Abel's. You know, it feels like the initial mixtapes he dropped when he first started, of course, like House of Balloons. Just has like that moody, dark atmosphere, but ties in those synths that I feel like he's obviously become so well known for in the past, decade or so. Great track. I feel like a great kind of blend of the old and new in terms of the Weeknd stylings. Here's Given Up on Me. Let's keep it going. So far, this has been quite a diverse LP. Maybe the most instrumentally diverse, sonically diverse we've heard him. So I like this slight kind of lounge-esque jazz. Oh. Okay. Did not expect this. Oh. not sure about this one. I feel like A is just kind of feeling like more of the same at this point. This one, so far, one of my least favorites. Oh.
Why will you let me go? Why will you let me try? Why will you let me die?
Oh my goodness. Getting a little soul here. Maybe I spoke too soon. Where's this track going? Oh, just a snippet, just a taste of what could be. I'd love a soul Abel album. Also, the mixing on this record, or at least the production, is very, it's got these lo-fi moments that feel far more personal. It feels very intimate. This one, oh, it's eerie.
I can feel the warmth on my skin for the first time.
Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe this is a much better track than I gave credit for.
When I'm far away from you, babe, I'm on fire. My sunshine,
That thump.
sunshine. I know it's not good for me. I know it's not good for me.
I love this
I know it's not good
slow piano.
by now. You're not good for me, baby. My sunshine.
Wonder if he's talking on fame here. He's talking on success.
It's not good for me, no.
Man, that second half, that beat switch, that soul sample, incredible, this one. And here we are, closing it out. I imagine this is going to segue into the next track. Man, what a, that one, quite a mammoth, nearly 6 minutes long, and it goes to every avenue. I can't wait to get there.
The darkness keeps you shining. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, light. Ooh.
Oh. We're just going to go ahead and give this song a like, because right off the bat, this is a direction I have never heard him go into. Beautiful, kind of soulful, sweet. Kind of reminds me of something, Tyler the Creator would do.
We've been running the numbers, we just shy of a billion. So my grip to Madonna, my connect to my father. I hate it when they can never control us.
This is the best track. This is the best track so far. Super lovey-dovey. His delivery too, just flowing off his tongue. Just smooth with it. This is a smooth cut. This is like the closest to funk that he's gotten. I agree with this person here. Sounds like a Tyler cut through and through. This is kind of that funky bass line. Quite kind of strung out. I gotta say, I can't wait to get there. Feels like the hint of what I've always wanted from a Weeknd album. I really want a funk kind of disco themed album. I feel like I've been asking for years for that. That is probably the closest we've gotten to that kind of, vision. I feel like he would do a really great funk record, but hopefully there's more like that on the record. Let's go to Timeless, which is, I think, the biggest single off the record, with Playboy Cardi here. Really great drops on this record too. Not my favorite artist, but very versatile when it comes to his voice. His high-pitched vocals always make me laugh. I don't know why. I just think it sounds so cartoonish, but it fits. Very fitting for him, that's for sure. It's a delivery for sure.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been legit with the green. She fell in love with the scene. Oh yeah, her man quiet, not a beat. Broke his heart, PTSD. Hold his chest, let it breathe.
Kind of like your typical kind of bad boy energy that the Weeknd always brought to the table. Channeling the player in him, which I think he's a bit more sensitive than he lets on. It's all part of that act that he puts on. I would say my only issue with this track, similar to how I felt about Sao Paulo, does feel like less of a Weeknd track and more like a feature for him, but nevertheless, a nice edge to this track. Let's go into Niagara Falls. This is again, kind of bringing back those high-pitched, kind of chipmunk, kind of sampling.
I used to hold you, girl, before the sun came up. It was dusk till dawn. Oh, yes.
I like how kind of minimalist this one is. It feels certainly a lot more dialed back instrumentally.
Cause I got my finger on, you can always reach. Cause I know you're running on low. And he never really loved you. Telling me about his next move.
Can't tell how much I like this one. There's certain things I definitely like about it. But I also feel like it hasn't done anything too grand to really catch my ear as strongly as some of these other cuts so far. But maybe it's a grower. I do feel like this track is one that, as time goes on, will certainly grow on me. I do like these drawn out synths, quite atmospheric. Where are we going with this one? Quite a shimmery outro this is getting. segueing, it would seem, from one city to the next. Take me back to LA. Oh, beautiful transition. Oh, I like this production. Again, channeling that 80s aesthetic. Right off the bat, I love this one. Oh. Quite a emotional cut. That recluse, a typical trait for him. This one feels like a bit of an odyssey, this long kind of ever developing journey. Really great and interesting pacing on this one. Just a simple, steady beat. Love this kind of flipping of the verse. Beautiful melodies on this one. Just a gorgeous swelling instrumental. That was a great one. Great pacing on it. Love that kind of thumping beat. Felt like I could have just listened to that kind of hypnotic focus that it had for a good while. It was just very trance-like, that one, I gotta say. Let's go to Big Sleep. Ooh. Those laws quite pillowy, heavenly. Oh, like I said, playing with the vocals quite heavily on this record. I rest my case. Oh my goodness. You can tell this man's a fan of Blade Runner for sure with these synths.
Well, you used up your borrowed life.
Quite a dreamlike, pillowy cut this one is. Really sinking into it. Playing with a vocoder here, are we? Those ahs, quite godly, quite heavenly. Oh my god, we're getting ethereal. Feel like we were ascending to the heavens, getting biblical. Here's Give Me Mercy, a Big Sleep. Just felt Big Sleep had a very interesting kind of development. It's quite glitchy in that first half. Those vocals mutilated more than ever. Definitely I would say, Daft Punk influence too, coming in strong throughout this LP. And this might even prove it further. Much more kind of upbeat, kind of jolly feeling on this one. Sweeter, it's more just carefree. Again, definitely feels like kind of some of the more slower cuts off of MJ's albums, like Thriller and Bad. Just has that energy to it that feels like it's, again, he very much channels that MJ, as always. But maybe more than ever throughout this record. Seems like he's struggling with God, perhaps, on this one. Or at least some sort of religion. Oh, getting a little gospel there. Let's go right into Drive. Really liked the themes of Give Me Mercy, to be honest with you. And I feel like that the way it kind of outroed, the self-harmonizing, quite beautiful, quite ethereal. Again, interesting themes throughout this record. Again, themes of fame prevalent throughout the record, closing out his discography. This one's a bit of a snooze fest, if I'm being completely honest with you. Very repetitive, very bland. Not feeling it whatsoever. Don't get me wrong. Great self-harmonizing as always. Beautiful the way it's arranged, but I do find that track is easily the most repetitive and also just kind of predictable of the batch so far. Kind of just honestly feels like a filler to me personally. Let's go into The Abyss. Very beautiful piano playing on this one. Very shimmery. Oh, I did not see who we got on here. Miss Lana Del Rey on the segue. Oh, I love how menacing this is getting. Oh, beautiful. Those distant haze. Love the growing tension in this one. Beautiful. That trap cut sliding in. His performance here too is quite commanding. And that reverb. Pretty standard thematically, but beautifully composed. Oh, very angelic vocals she's got here. Just they're rising together. Quite an eruption. Beautiful. Love that one. One of the best cuts on the album, and definitely on the second half of the album. Really hitting it out of the park. Just a great kind of menacing, rapid, beautiful, kind of pressurized instrumental. Here's Red Terror. The way this one's cutting in and out feels so glitchy. For a second I was worried I was pausing it. Oh. Love the kind of aggression in this cut.
I knew you were special, my only attention. Alone I left to the west and moved to the city. 8 months we were.
This one feels like kind of like Starboy vibes, just like that classic kind of mid 2010s kind of Weeknd energy. Even kind of reminds me of The Hills. Channeling it back down here. Again, those kind of angelic vocals, channeling a religion of some sort. And those cinematic synths are back. Love the bouncing back and forth between all these eras of the Weeknd.
It does not count.
This one, very Dawn FM coded here.
I have only slipped away to the next room. Nothing has happened. Everything remains exact. That we are still. Call me by the old familiar name.
Abel Tesfaye. Let's go to Without a Warning. Red Terror. Again, a nice blend of that mid 2010s kind of era of him and the new. This one's very smoky. Not sure how I feel about this one. What is a sample? This one really feeling like a farewell or a swan song lyrically here. closing out the career of him. Heavy reflections throughout this LP. Really building up to this final track. Let's segue to Hurry Up Tomorrow, the title track, the final Weeknd track, quite possibly. Here we go. How do we close it all out?
Wash me with your fire. Who else has to pay for my sin?
Feeling quite intimate here.
My love's fabricated. It's too late to save it. Now I'm ready
I
for
love how stripped back this is. These just beautiful keys.
So burn me with your light. I have no more fights left to win. Tie me up to face it. I can't run away and I'll accept that it's the end. And I hope that I'll find what I'm looking for.
That continual search.
I hope someone's watching from up above.
Once again, connecting with themes of religion too.
So I see heaven after love. I want heaven when I die.
Love when he ends it on a emotional note.
I wanna change. I want the pain. Took a piece of me, and I've been trying to fill that void that my father left.
Ooh.
So no one else abandons me. I'm sorry.
Very vulnerable in these lyrics. Probably the most vulnerable he's been on the album. Very honest.
Now I'm drowning in the same tub where I learned how to swim with my mother trying to. I'm done with the loss. Hope this confession is enough. So I see heaven after love.
Oh, I didn't even realize the, as this suggests here, the interpolation of In Heaven from Eraserhead, which very fitting given the situation recently. R.I.P. to David Lynch. But here, kind of working in almost like a tribute to close it out, which purely coincidental, clearly considering this was a long time in the making. But we know Abel likes his film. Man, what a emotional, beautiful way to close out not just the album but his discography. As we know, he typically closes quite a few of his albums with a sadder cut, and that one certainly was that, filling that need. And that's it for Hurry Up Tomorrow. All right. Wow. Quite a long LP, an hour 24. I will say it did fly by. I found quicker than I expected. I feel like a lot of these, maybe it's the how diverse the set of songs are. Stylistically, I feel like we venture into every direction that The Weeknd has done. There are certain songs on here that feel very much like his original trilogy, House of Balloons, especially. But there's also some songs on here that feel as current as Dawn FM. I feel like we kind of launched through the spectrum, and there's quite a few songs on here that, you know, when I was listening to them, I mentioned feel very much of the area of Beauty Behind the Madness, as well as Starboy, you know, just like that more kind of mainstream, dark kind of atmosphere that he did at the time really came through. And I gotta say, that's kind of what I was expecting from this record, was a nice wide array that shows the diversity of his style. And I feel like it did deliver quite well in terms of closing out his discography and really just kind of feeling like a thesis on what he did as a musician. That being said, there are some tracks on here I would probably remove because, you know, being 22 tracks, an hour and a half, there's obviously bound to be a little bit of filler here and there. You know, Drive, for example, I think is the weakest one. It really was the one that I felt was the most repetitive, very bland. It doesn't really go anywhere and just kind of feels like it fizzles out. Big Sleep is another one that I really liked at first, but as it kind of continued, the first half of the track is really just taken up by him manipulating vocal effects, and then the second half feels, again, kind of fleeting. But other than those two tracks specifically, I wouldn't call any of the other tracks here too, you know, bad or anything. I think the ones that I didn't like just weren't necessarily my vibe. And there was one track, I'm forgetting which one it was, that I thought most likely going to be a grower, given that it was a little bit more sparse in its arrangement. But that being said, there are some really incredible tracks on here. I loved the opener. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was cinematic. Really hits you hard. Sao Paulo, obviously a banger, but again, more of a producer track, I would say, than a Weeknd track. I Can't Wait to Get There is hands down my favorite track here, even though it does kind of feel a little bit more of a Tyler the Creator track, but it's the kind of funky, disco-esque Weeknd that I've always wanted. I feel like I've been saying for years that I want a funk album from him. I feel like he would deliver on that. That's the closest we're going to get, unfortunately. I would love a full album like that, though, because, man, I feel like he was just scratching the surface there of what he's capable of in a more funk realm. So maybe one day, maybe he'll go by just Abel, and he'll deliver on that front. That would be great. Take Me Back to LA was beautiful. Honestly, I got to say, this entire LP, though, does deliver on being a pretty grand finish to the discography. And Hurry Up Tomorrow, just a beautiful, kind of touching, sweet kind of look back at himself, as well as a look at the future and what's to come. So overall, pretty solid, great album, and definitely one that I feel is fitting to close out the discography. Doesn't feel fitting to close out the trilogy. Personally, I do think it does feel quite, you know, a little bit too far away, kind of separated from these two albums. But even still, this is a great album all on its own. But that does it for the video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along in listening to more albums alongside myself. We're doing a Pink Floyd discog deep dive. We're also doing reactions to Bjork's entire discography. So if that sounds interesting, you go ahead and subscribe. We'll also be listening to a plethora of new albums throughout the year as they come. But as always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.